Hey guys, welcome back. Yes, I always have to start my videos off with a sip of water so my throat doesn't get all dry. But take a deep breath. I have to do this video on this topic. Some of y'all men got things twisted. Like I shared this photo on my page here on Facebook on Danielle Leach of this. They have this new toy for women out. It's not a vibrator, but it is like I guess you call it a dildo, and it's a mechanical dildo that actually mimics the movements of sex intercourse. So it goes up and down, and it has different speeds that it moves at, like it's gyrating, in a woman's vagina, right? And I thought it was really cool. Like whoever created this toy, this woman's toy, I'm like, kudos to you because this is amazing. Like this you guys all got all excited about the doll, the sex doll for men, but I'm like, no, this toy is amazing that they created for women. It's my first time seeing it. Like I've seen, vibrators, I've seen like the little rabbits for the clitoral stimulation. I've seen dildos, strap-ons, all different kinds of sex toys for women, but I haven't quite come across a toy like this. And I shared it on my page. You guys can go back and look at the toy. But I said, looks like a very good investment. And then somebody commented, this guy commented, he was like, oh, mine is better. They say like, oh, when I have it's better. I'm like, no. I think somehow men got it twisted. They think that just having good dick is all it takes. It takes more than good dick, you guys, to keep a woman, to sustain a relationship. Men think, oh, I got good dick, so that's it. I got good dick, so that's it. It's like, no. And then most of y'all, let's just keep it real. Most men can't last longer than 5 minutes. Y'all be talking a good game. Oh, I can last 10 minutes. I'm a 30-minute man. I can break your back in for a whole hour. And the science behind it don't even make any sense. Because scientifically, most men just cannot last past 5 minutes. It don't work that way. Y'all think that y'all got this long belly dick stroke that can just go on for years and years and years, and that don't work. It doesn't last that long. And with that being said, after a woman is pleased physically, it's like what's left after that? You gotta come with more than just good dick, guys. That's not it. But I find that to be quite interesting how sometimes men, like, it boosts their confidence, I guess, because that's one good thing they got under the belt, right? It's like if they ain't got nothing else good going on, at least they got some good dick. At least they can lay the pipe. At least their organ down there still works. So they feel like, oh, I got some cool points, I'm like, no. Good dick ain't enough. I know, not at least for this woman. And can't speak for all women, but now, from what I've seen, the good dick ain't enough, y'all. You got to come with more than good dick, which leads me into my next point, because I was having this interesting conversation with a friend. He's Haitian, he lives in New York. And he was, wanting to know more about my interests in BDSM and how does it fit into my professional identity, and becoming a doctor and just being this very successful African-American woman. He's like, how is it that, you say you want to be a submissive, you identify yourself more with the submissive role, but at the same time, you have this professional identity that is more dominant. And I'm like, that's a really good question. That is a really good question. And for someone to even pose a question like that, it means that they're thinking. They're really thinking, which led me to think, about my personal preference in men. It's like, I say, no wonder why I have this personal preference in a certain kind of man. For you guys who don't know, many of you guys probably aren't really familiar with BDSM, and I try to break it down to you, whatever, for you guys to understand. So BDSM is alternative lifestyle. It stands for bondage, discipline, sadomasochism. And there's so many different variations of relationships within their lifestyle. So a lot of people sometimes they think BDSM and they just, I don't know, they just have this misconception of what it is. And some people may Google BDSM on, online. They say, oh, they see all these pictures of, new naked women and these sexual positions, and they see bondage. They see like all this kind of so-called freakish stuff, and I'm like, what is that? But no, I would be the first to say that BDSM goes much deeper than porn and what you see when you Google the letters BDSM. And so I was telling him, I say, that's a very interesting question, because I know that my preference in men has a lot to do with who I am as a person, who I am as a woman. And being that I am a very successful woman, I'm very confident. And even within my professional role, becoming a clinical psychologist, becoming a doctor, it's like that within and of itself requires a certain level of assertiveness and dominance within a person, And not only that, but being that I'm also a business owner and I'm an entrepreneur. So of course, there are certain aspects of my personality that speak to dominance, right? He's like, how does that fit within BDSM? And I say, you know what, that does. And that really speaks to my preference. A lot of people wonder, like, why she's saying she want a man that has X, Y, and Z. He has to have a decent income. He has to be dominant. He has to be able to take care of her and be able to provide. And I'm like, y'all don't get it. All of these is factored into my desire, my preference for a certain kind of man within the BDSM lifestyle. All of this goes hand in hand. So me being a submissive, meanwhile having this, having to kind of juggle these roles that I'm, working with, with my professional career, it's like, it makes sense that I would want to be attracted to a dominant man, a man who is equally successful as I am, or even more successful than I am, financially successful. That is it's a big thing, and I get attacked because I have this preference or interest in dating a man who is financially independent, who can take care not only of himself, but of a family, if he wanted to bring a family into this world. He wanted to create a family. It's like, it's crazy how our society has gone so far away from those traditional roles where a man is a provider. It's like, it doesn't even make sense. I think, of course, there are situations and there are relationships where a woman is dominant in her career, and she meets with a man and she kind of takes more of the dominant role in the relationship. But I'm like, no, for me, yes, I can be dominant in my professional role, but I prefer to take on the submissive role when it comes to relationship. And a lot of people don't get it. Men brag about how they are dominant in the bedroom. I think it's easy for a man to be able to call the shots in the bedroom, right? To be able to take control having sex. That's easy. Most men can do that. But when it comes to being dominant in all aspects of his life, a lot of men just are lacking in that area. I say lacking because that's just my perspective. I see dominant as a very strong trait within a man. I think it's an attribute. It's a positive characteristic. So I feel like the men who are only dominant in the bedroom and they are lacking in dominance when it comes to financial independence, financial control, taking financial responsibility, when it comes to just being asserting oneself politically, in our society, they're not so dominant in that respect, which I think is really important to me, because Black lives do matter. And that is a major part of my life, fighting for Black nationalism. And if a man is not dominant in that area, if it's like, for him, he's like, oh, I don't really care about that kinds of stuff. It's like, that to me is a turnoff. You have men that say, well, they will prefer a woman to go 50-50 with them, when it comes to paying the bills. That to me is also a turn off, because it's like, okay, you can be dominant in the bedroom, but when it comes to financial responsibility, that's not dominance. Going 50-50 is not speaking to dominance. That's speaking to equality. And for a lot of men, they make the argument and say, oh, women want equality, so now you have it. And it's like, first of all, we have to define what equality is, and not all women fit within a certain box. You get what I'm saying? Not all women are the same. So you have women, yes, are fighting for equal rights in order to be treated fairly and equally, just as men are treated when it comes to just being respectful. Men are treated with respect. Men are paid a certain wage. Women expect to be treated with respect as well. We don't expect to be treated lower. But for me, that has nothing to do with a relationship on an individual level, on a smaller scale, when it comes between a man and a woman. I feel like we set our own rules individually, on that level between a man and a woman when it comes to relationship. It's up to the individual couple to establish the level of power exchange, and how much dominance a man asserts over a woman. For me, as a submissive woman, I'm okay with a man taking full responsibility. Now, full, I wouldn't say full in terms of 100%, because that would be more like master-slave type of role. But I would say, a good percentage of the control within the relationship, I'm okay as long as trust is there. Trust obviously has to be there in the relationship for me to relinquish my control to another individual. But that's what turns me on. Everybody is different. Y'all, I feel like when I begin to talk about my preferences and things I look for in a guy, and you guys who are watching my videos, you start to think about yourself and who you are and how it relates to what I'm saying. And you're like, oh, well, I don't really measure up. That's not me. It doesn't have to be you. First of all, I probably will never meet any of you guys. Most of you guys I won't meet. And, why are you trying to measure yourself up to me? Like, as if you're trying to pitch yourself to me. Like, you guys feel rejected. That's the only reason why I think you guys will get upset or feel some kind of way when it comes to me talking about my preference in a guy. If you don't meet those characteristics and you're watching this video, then so freaking what? Every man is different. You don't have to. There are different types of men, different shades of men. And it's okay. If you're a man and you're more submissive, if you're more about equality, that's okay. But for me, I prefer a certain dynamic in a relationship. And no, good dick is just not enough. Good dick is one aspect. Obviously, who doesn't like good sex? That's obviously one aspect. And for a man to be dominant and be able to assert his power in the bedroom, yeah. That's important, but no, it takes way more than that. A man should be able to be dominant in all aspects. That's how I'm looking at it, especially when it comes to financial. And being that I am a woman who has very high expectations and hopes and dreams, and I'm doing a lot when it comes to my life and, my contribution that I'm making to the community and society. Yes, yes, it's important that a man is just as powerful and dominant in his role in society. Like, that's just, it makes sense to me. It may not make sense to you guys, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And that's what I feel most comfortable with. And when I was sharing that with my Haitian friend who lives in New York, he was like, oh, okay, I get it now. He was like, no, that doesn't mean that you're a gold digger. It's like, gold diggers are women who can't make it for themselves. So they try to use men to get a leg up, And even on my post, on my video, somebody commented, and I feel like people just jump to conclusions so quick. Like, they're on social media and they see somebody may say something and then they just quickly jump to an assumption saying, oh, you just want to use a man to come up. And I'm like, use a man? I don't need a man to come up. I feel like people see things in black and white. So if you are not a woman who wants to contribute 50-50, then all of a sudden that just puts you into the other box of being a woman who wants to use a man. It's just like, no, there are different variations to this situation, you guys. Just because a woman prefers not to go 50-50 with a man when it comes to financial contribution in a household doesn't mean that she's trying to use that man for his money. She can very well be a woman who can stand on her own 2 feet, is very financially independent, and it's just someone like me who prefers a man who's above her in all aspects. If she's here, if a woman is here already, and if she's a submissive woman, and you guys have to go and do more research on BDSM, the whole lifestyle, to get what I'm saying, because I think that like I said, our society has gone so far away from the traditional roles and how it used to be. A lot of people are like, why should I give a man that much power? Why should a woman relinquish that much? But you guys don't get it. Like I said, this is an alternative lifestyle. So it makes sense within the context of BDSM. But if a woman is here, with respect to her dominance and her success in life, right? She's here and she's submissive. Of course, it only makes sense that she chooses a man that's here. You get what I'm saying? Not here, as you guys are trying to suggest, like, it should be 50-50. That is not a dominant submissive relationship. You guys don't get it. Yes, finances, and when it comes to financial contribution, plays a role into that. Psychologically, it really matters, when it comes to financial contribution, because if a woman is contributing 50% or equally the amount that a man is contributing to the household when it comes to finances, that's going to factor into how much power she relinquishes, how much power she gives to this man, or how much power he has over her. They're going to have equal power in that dynamic. Does that make sense? Like, for you, most of you guys and who are watching this, men and women, and you're in a relationship, a marriage, or you're dating and you live together and you contribute 50-50 with respect to the bills and the household, then chances are your dynamic, when it comes to the power dynamic and the relationship, is going to be about the same. It's going to be equal. I've seen it for myself. That's what I've observed. You see that it's just an equal power. For me, I think it makes more sense, and it's much easier as a submissive woman to submit to a man who's here in all aspects, not just the bedroom, right? Because any man can be down in the bedroom, but who's here in all aspects. Especially when it comes to finances. Finances plays a major role in this. And it's not to say that a woman can't work. It's not to say that the dominant man is going to say, okay, well, you can't, work. Now, the thing is this. A lot of dominant men will express and say that they prefer that a woman does not work. Like they just would like for her to be kind of at his beck and call, and it's not all about sex either. I'm going to get into that next. But kind of just be there for him, be there in service to him and the family, if they have a family, and that's it. But if you have some dominant men that say, you know what, I am going to pay all the bills because that's just his role. That's just what dominant men are used to doing. Meanwhile, if you want, you can still go to school. You can still have your own businesses, be an entrepreneur, and make your own income. It makes perfect sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense. But like I was saying, it's not all about sex. And I feel like a lot of people are quick to jump to sex, which is a major, major turnoff in a relationship. For me, anyway. It's like, especially when you get to know someone. Like that, to me, it's just, I don't know. Sex is really important, I think, to a relationship. And I love sex. But it's not the only thing. A lot of people are very quick to just they sexualize a conversation, and especially when they assume that, okay, you're submissive, so, you must want to talk about sex. It's like, not really. Not especially when I'm first getting to know a person anyway. I want to really get to know you as a person. And there's certain things that a man says that resonates with me, that attracts me to him. And most of those things have nothing to do with sex. Which reminds me, it's like, There are reasons why people are attracted to the lifestyle of BDSM, women especially, because for a submissive, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of tips. I don't want to give you guys too much. I feel like I be giving y'all too much game. I don't want to give men too much game. Y'all gotta learn it for yourself. You should learn it for yourself. But I'm gonna give y'all a little bit. Now, when it comes to a submissive woman, I know especially me, when I've seen this, like submissive women, the biggest thing is about protection. It's about safety, and security. Like, I know even women who are not within the BDSM lifestyle probably say, oh, that goes for all women. That's what, women kind of want. But it's a different level of security, I think, that a submissive is seeking from a man. Much deeper level of security and safety and protection. And there are certain things that a man can communicate when he's getting to know a woman in the beginning that speaks to those things. So I got to keep track of the time. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to end this video, you guys. I am doing laundry, but I will come back to you guys in another video. I just kind of wanted to just jump in here real quick and just kind of share my thoughts on this, because a lot of men got it fucked up. Y'all sitting here thinking that good dick is just all it takes. I'm like, no, baby, you gotta have more than good dick. There's nothing. There's nothing. A woman can pick up a vibrator, a dildo, and please herself. Like I said initially when I started this video, at the beginning of this video, I was talking about a photo that I shared of this sex toy for women. It's pink. You guys go to my page after this video, you guys can see the photo, but it's like a wonderful sex toy that he created for women. It's just like, okay, if all a man has to bring to the table is good dick, and you have sex toys like this, at that point, a woman doesn't even need a man. She needs a man for nothing. That's all you have to bring to the table is good dick, man. And you got sex toys, like, it don't matter how much the sex toy costs. Because the thing is this, men be like, oh, I got something better than that. But if what you got is going to come with headaches and drama and babies that your ass can't take care of, I don't fucking want that shit. All right, I got to go. Catch you guys later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.